Hey, how's it going, guys? So today in the epic saga of Mike Little versus United States Navy, we're not going to talk a lot about the issues that have been happening, but we're going to talk about a plan to move forward. And a plan to move forward is going to include having to hire a lawyer. And a lawyer that specializes in a case like mine is going to cost me around $20,000. I spoke to quite a few lawyers who work in this environment with the federal courts and the district courts of Columbia, and that's where the case is going to have to be taken. So I have to come up with about 20 grand to get a lawyer to take my case. There are free lawyer clinics that are out there, and I've applied to a majority of them, and I've been told that there's a wait list on most. A lot of them don't do claims like this. They do veteran claims, and so I can't wait forever because I do have a timeline that I have to file my claim by, and so I'm looking to, I'm just going to try to hire a lawyer. To do that, I need 20 grand, and I'm not the type of person that just wants to ask for $20,000. I could probably try to take a loan out on that, and I would be paying back the loan for quite some time, and I don't really want to do that either if I don't have to. So what I'd like to try to do is I would like to try to raffle off a brand new iPhone Pro 11, 512 gigabytes. I'm going to raffle that off on my website, and I'm going to sell 500 spots for $45, and I'm going to guarantee we're going to do the drawing if we reach 60 participants. If I can sell 60 spots, we will do the raffle no matter what, and we'll do the raffle on January 22nd, 2020. That's my anniversary in the United States Navy. That'll be my 17-year anniversary in the Navy. Just 3 years short of a 20-year retirement. A 20-year retirement that the Navy has ensured that I have no possibility of gaining, even if I were to continue to finish up my tour duty. They have completely halted any opportunity for me to continue to get a retirement out of my service whatsoever. And that's not acceptable. The mere fact that I'm still on a contract with them after their own doctors have found me to be unfit for duty as per my combat-related tours of duty is unsatisfactory. The fact that they continue to dispute the claims that I do not have PTSD, despite the fact that 12 of their doctors have validated that. Through the process that they sent me through, even though they've had that scientific knowledge, they still dispute those facts. The Navy is continuing to do this because there is a precedent to be set. If they open the doors for anyone with post-traumatic stress that their doctors seem to be unfit, then they lose money for buying bullets, trucks, ships, you name it. The military retirement system comes directly out of operational funding. So if they were to give me a retirement of about $250 a month, that's all they would pay me, plus some benefits. The biggest key here is benefits. It's TRICARE. It's access to care that I wouldn't normally get. TRICARE benefits that once my wife retires, that I'm currently getting now, once my wife retires, we're going to have to start paying for. All right? So that's the fight here. The fight here is not them wanting to continue to say I don't have PTSD. Now, they're making it personal because they keep attacking my service. They keep saying I didn't do the things that I did in combat. They keep saying that I didn't guard the detainees that I guarded. And I've disputed their facts at every time they've come and told me that I've not done something. And I've not just disputed their facts with an E1 or an E2 or some junior officer. I went straight to my commanding officers. Straight to my commanding officers that they chose to be in charge of me in the line of duty. And I asked them to review the documents that the VA had provided where they state that I didn't witness riots, where they stated that I didn't experience unruly detainees that formed ISIS. I asked them to review the statements that there was no possible way that I could have been exposed to post-traumatic stress disorder through my combat tour duty. And I asked them to take it upon themselves to write a letter that they felt reflected my service. And they wrote a complete 180 compared to what the Navy wrote. They disputed the facts. They stated that we guarded ISIS prisoners. They disputed the facts. They stated the fact that we did experience riots. They disputed their facts. They stated that I received human feces on my uniform on a regular basis. Right? Those were the commanders that the Navy put in charge of us, disputing the facts of the Navy. And those letters are available on the website for you to review. You can review the Navy's correspondence in this case as well as mine. I have nothing to hide. I don't want to hide it. I want you to know the truth. I've lost 15 shipmates to suicide. Today's one of their birthdays. Lita Bordas was an LS1 in Afghanistan with me. She was one of the best friends I ever had. I got to hang out with her every day after work. I watched her come from this ball of life to a complete basket case in the end. And she tried to keep it together. She thought she could keep it together. And ultimately, it costed her life. Why? Because she didn't want to let down the military. She didn't want to think she was broken to the extent that she could no longer serve her country. She had life circumstances that were bothering her, and she ultimately took her life. That's not acceptable. I miss her dearly. I thought about her a lot today. I think a lot about her. Think about her a lot every day. I think about the other 14 as well. Every day. And I think about how unjust it is that the military continues to do what they're doing to us that try to seek help so we don't end up in that situation. I wanted to finish my career. I thought I could. In 2014, when the Navy tried to kick me out because I wanted to commit suicide, I fought them. I fought them with an administrative separation board, and I won. I won because they cheated then, and they're cheating now. They tried to submit evidence into a case with my forged signature on it. They tried to process me for separation weeks before a drill weekend even started, without even giving me an opportunity to show up for it. I beat them then, and I'm going to beat them now. Now in 2014, I thought I was okay. I did. I thought I was okay. I thought that I didn't have PTSD. I thought that I was just like dealing with some stuff. Liz came into my life at that point, and I thought that I was okay. And I felt like I was okay. I went to Buffalo. I tried to be the best sailor they had there. And I was doing really good at it. And then we transferred to Washington. And I started off and I was doing really well. And then all of a sudden, something triggered me. And it was a car accident that I experienced. And it triggered me. And my whole life fell apart again. And I realized that I was going downhill fast. Liz had to rush me to the emergency room. I had to like rush myself to the VA, and I had to like try to do things to get the help I needed. So what did I do? I knew I didn't want to be processed for admin separation again. I didn't want to be in trouble again. So what did I do? I went straight to the Navy, and I told them that I was struggling and I felt like I had unresolved post-traumatic stress disorder. So what did that mean for me? It meant that they had to start all of this process of a line of duty and get me the help that I needed, right? So I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I have followed the Navy's priority list to the T. I went through the line of duty process. I went through the medical evaluation review board. I went through the whole process of the physical evaluation board, the formal board. I've been through the BCNR process. I did everything like I was supposed to. And I've continued to get treatment all along the way. And I've been on a roller coaster. Even with the birth of my children, I still have been on a roller coaster. I have good days. like you're up here, and I have bad days. And I'm just like any other person. And the way that I react to the way I deal with my situations are not the way you're supposed to act when you're in the United States military. It's not the way I would feel safe working with someone on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier, on an airline, out on an air station, or even on a freaking NOS just doing some basic work. It's not the type of person that we want in uniform. With the proper help, I could have probably served my tour duty honorably. But they weren't willing to work with me. I was struggling with weight, and they were going to process me out for weight gain. I was doing what I was supposed to do. So, here we are. Me versus the Navy. The Navy that I love, the Navy that people that I love are serving in. I love the Navy. I'm still in love with the Navy. But the Navy is wrong on this. And it's not the military leaders that are causing this problem. No, it's not. It's not the Chief of Naval Reserve or the Naval Operation. It's not the Chief of Navy Reserves. It's not the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. And it's not the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy Reserves. It is not those guys. Not the Force Master Chief of the Navy Reserves. It's not those guys. That's not where the problem is. The problem is in the bureaucracy. The problem is in the politics. People that have been in place for 40 years, 30 years, people that have been in the same job, that are making decisions on sailors that have medical issues, those are the people that are making these decisions. And they're not doctors. There's a lot of cases that come before them that aren't medically related. It's talking about awards and adding things to your record that we're missing. That's different. When a medical case comes across the board and they have one doctor on there and that doctor is not certified to make any judgments when it comes to that disability, that should be criminal. You wouldn't be able to see that in any state. It wouldn't happen, right? A doctor can't make a judgment based on something they're not qualified in. And the military says that if you're a doctor in the Navy, you're a doctor in the Navy. And that's where they're wrong. That's how this whole process is wrong. So, I'm going to fight them. I'm going to take them to court. I need $20,000. The best I can do is to try to raise the money. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to let everybody be a part of this. And I'm going to give some stuff away. I'm going to try to give some stuff away, right? So I don't want you to just give me your money, right? I want you to continue following my story. I want you to get something in return of this. Now, I'm not going to give away, I can't give away everybody that gives me one an iPhone, because then I would not be able to afford that, right? But if I get enough people to donate, to buy raffle spots, I will raffle off an iPhone. I've got access to it. I've got everything up on the webpage. You can check it out. I'm being as honest and sincere as I can be about all this. I ran this by about 45 people today. Some people said it was a bad idea. Some people said it was a good idea. The people told me it was a good idea. I kind of rolled with them because I don't have any options. So I appreciate everybody that's been supporting of me in this process. I know it's been a lot of writing that I've been doing and a lot of videos I've been doing, but I want you to understand this because I'm not the only sailor out there dealing with this. There's tons of us, right? There were at least 100 of us in one unit that I deployed with in Iraq. There was 120 of us in a unit that I deployed with in Afghanistan. It's a lot of us. There were 100,000 sailors deployed out of the Navy Reserves in the time of war during this individual augmentee tour. Not all of us have the same post-traumatic stress. Some of us have exposures to the burn pits and they have cancer. And Burn Pit 360 is over there doing some great work to advocate for those of us that were exposed to burn pits. All of us are suffering in our own way. I just so happen to be on a contract with the Navy and I just want out of my contract. If they're not going to let me retire, they need to give me an honorable separation. And at this point, an honorable separation means putting me on the combat disabled retired list because that's what I deserve. So if you want to help me out, the link's in the post. I'll share the link on my page. I'm going to start sharing all these videos on my public profile because that's where I've asked people to go that aren't friends with me on Facebook. So every time I make a post, I'm going to share it on my public profile page. That way other people can see it. But if you could help me out and share this video or share the link at least, that would mean a lot to me. I'm just trying to explain it. I want you to understand. Not everybody understands how the military works. A lot of people hear what I'm asking, what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with, and they think that it's part of the VA, and this is not part of the VA. The VA has already found me 100% disabled. This is a fight with the Navy. This is a fight with the Department of Defense. Those fights aren't had very often because people don't usually have the money to fight them. And whenever they get the money to fight them, they lose. So it's hard for someone like me to want to put forth $20,000 when I know I'm going to have to come up with $20,000 again to lose again. So I really could use your help. I really appreciate everyone following me. I appreciate all the support. I've seen I got a bunch of messages came across while I was live here. Do me a favor and say a prayer for my shipmate Alita tonight. She's back up in heaven watching over for us. And if you could just, anything you can do for me, I appreciate it. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you about the fleet.